Welcome learners in the series of videos on topology. In the previous video, we have seen the definition of the continuous function. We have two topological spaces x and y, and we have function f from x to y when we say that function is continuous. And we have used the definition that if you take any open set in your codomain, its inverse image has to be open in the domain which is a topological spaces. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, today we will see the equivalent statements for a continuity of a function. So some cases you may have to use one definition, or in some applications we may have to use some other things. Alright, so in the today's video we will prove these equivalent statements. So let us state first the theorem. Let x and y be topological spaces. So let us take two topological spaces x and y, and let f is a function from x to y. Then the following are equivalent. That means if one holds, then of course the second holds. Okay, let us write the statements with the different colors. First statement says f is continuous. F is continuous. The definition of continuity we already seen. That is, let us write that is f inverse of v, because some authors may define continuity using the other equivalent statements. So let us write what is f is continuous for us. That is, f inverse of v is open in x for any open set say v in y. That is our definition of continuity. So if f is continuous, then this holds. So let us write the second statement. Fourth statement, so we will not do the lines. It says f of closure of a in x will contain inside closure of fa. Now if you see, f is a function from x to y, and of course this should be in your set x domain, and of course you are finding the closure of that a in the domain, so we have written x. And when you go for fa, this is a subset of y, and when you say closure, it should be in the space y. So f of closure of a in x should be contained inside closure of fa in y, and this should happen for all subsets. As I said, the subset a has to be in x, subset a of x. Okay, so f is continuous, then this happens. If this happens, then f is continuous. That is called equivalent statements. Let's go for another color. So third, we have defined this f is continuous as if you take any open set in the codomain, its inverse image is open. Same thing will go for closed. So it says f inverse of k is closed in x for all closed subsets k of y. So you can use equivalent statements. So to show that some function f is continuous, you take a arbitrary closed set in y and show that the inverse image of that closed set is closed in x. If you manage to show that, then you can say that f is continuous function. And the fourth statement says, as we have seen, it will be on another page. We have seen the continuity at a point. Same thing we will say. So for all x, you take any point in your domain and you take any neighborhood. So, and every neighborhood say v, and to denote that this v is the neighborhood of fx in your codomain, let us write suffix fx. Vfx of fx, of course this is in your codomain. There is a neighborhood of x. So let us write u suffix x of x such that this ux is contained inside the inverse image of this vfx. So f inverse of v suffix fx. So these are the equivalent statements. So what it says is if one holds, then other three holds. So in order to show that this three statement holds, what we will do is we will show that 1 implies 2, we will show that 2 implies 3, 3 implies 4, and finally we will show that 4 implies 1. So it is in cyclic in nature. Okay, so to prove that 1 implies 2, let's go for same color. So, hello, proof. And this we will prove that 1 implies 2. Okay, so what 1 says? 1 says f is continuous. Okay, so let us write let f be continuous. This is your hypothesis now. F is continuous means inverse image of a open set is open in your domain. Okay, that is our assumption. What you have to show? To show that f of closure of A in X is contained inside closure of FA in Y. This is what you have to show for any subset A. Okay, so let us take a subset. So let for all subset A of X. So let us take a subset. Let A be the subset of X. Okay, now we have to show this. So how we will show this? Remember both are subsets. So we will take one point in here and show that that point is in your other sets. That means this is a subset of this. Okay, so let y belongs to f of closure of A in X. Let us take a point here, and we will show that this y belongs to this. So the properties of this closure of a subset and all those things we have already done. If you have not seen those videos, you can go to the playlist and check that video too. Okay, now here this y belongs to f of closure of A. What does that mean? This implies there is a point in closure of A for which this y is mapped to. This implies there exists some x belongs to closure of A in X such that this x is mapped to y. So such that fx is equals to y. Okay, so let us draw a diagram and see how it happens. What happens? Let me see this. This is not looking good. So for freehand drawing, this is your x. So let me draw a big diagram. This is your x. Okay, and let us take y2 of the same color. This is our y. So this is x and this is y. Okay, now what we have is A is a subset of X. We have taken A to be the subset of X. So A is somewhere here. Let us take something like this. This is our A. And we have taken closure of A and then it's the point that's set. So we will go step by step. Alright. So here, let's go back. There exists a point X such that fx equals to y. What we have to show? We have to show that this y is in this set. And the equivalent statement we have seen, this y will be here provided every neighborhood of this y will contain a point of this point or intersect this set. So let us take a neighborhood of y. So let y, say v be neighborhood of y. and of course y is nothing but fx. Okay, now v is a neighborhood of fx. So let us go back to our diagram. This is our a. There is a point x, and maybe it may be anywhere. So let us take x here. This is x. X is mapped to fx, so there will be fx here, and then we have taken the neighborhood of fx, that is say v. V is here. So let v be the neighborhood of y. Now what happens is, this v is the neighborhood means v is open. Let me write the function as well. This is a function. Now this v is open in y and f is continuous. That is our assumption. That means inverse image of this v is open in x. So let v be the neighborhood of v f x, since f is continuous, f inverse of v is open in x. Because v is open in y, its inverse image has to be open because f is continuous. And also this fx belongs to v because we have taken the neighborhood of fx. So fx is in v implies this point x will be in the inverse image of v. So implies x belongs to f inverse of v. So what we have proved is f inverse of v is open in x and it contains x. This implies, go for the next page. This implies f inverse of v is neighborhood of x, because we have proved that f inverse of v is open and it contains x. That means it's a neighborhood of x. Now since what is x? X belongs to closure of a in x. Right? That point what we have taken. There exists this point. There exists x belongs to closure of a in x. So since this x belongs to closure of a in x, that by definition the intersection is empty. This implies there exists a point a in a intersection the neighborhood, this neighborhood a intersection f inverse of v. This is by the theorem what we have proved. This a belongs to closure of a if and only if something happens. We have already proved that. If you have not seen, then please go through through that video. So since x belongs to closure of a, and since this f inverse of v is a neighborhood of x, there exists a point in the intersection. This implies this a belongs to a and this a belongs to f inverse of v. So of course this a belongs to a implies fa will belongs to the image of a under f, and this a is in the inverse image of the v. That means fa will belongs to v. And if you see both the things, this fa is in f at a and the image of a, and fa is also in v. This implies this fa belongs to fa intersection with v. And this implies what was fa? Just said, and we have taken intersection with v. This is non-empty because this is the point in that intersection. And what we have done is we have taken a point y in this. We claim that this y is in this set and this y will be in this set provided every neighborhood of this y will contain a point of fa. Then this y will belong to closure of fa, and of course we are taking that closure in your codomain. And for that we have taken this v as a neighborhood of y, and we proved that fa intersection v is non-empty. This implies this y belongs to closure of fa in y, and hence the claim, you can say, hence the claim. So we have proved that 1 implies 2. Okay, let's come back to this diagram. What we had is this: we have taken a set A, we have taken this. So there is a f inverse of V. So this f inverse of V is here, and then there is a neighborhood, and then there is f inverse here. Okay, you can go back to the diagram and check. Now let us prove that 2 implies 3. What is the color for 2 implies 3? Let us use this. To prove 2 implies 3. Okay, what it says? It says let f of closure of A contain inside closure of Fe for all subsets A of X. Okay, to prove that, let us write what we want to prove. To prove that f inverse of K is closed in X for all closed subsets A of Y. This is what we want to do. And how we will start? We will start with some open set, some closed set in Y, and then we will show that the inverse image will be closed in your domain K X. And for that we have to use somewhere here this hypothesis. This is our hypothesis now. Let's start. Let K be closed subset Y. Let us go for a diagram. So it's like this. This is our K. Sorry, this is our X. This is our Y. And we have a function f from X to Y. Okay. And we have taken a K which is closed in Y. So there is K here which is closed. Okay. So let's go back now. Let K be closed in Y. Now we have to show that the inverse image of that f inverse of Y is f inverse of K is closed in X. We have to show, and to show that we will show that the f inverse of K is equals to closure of f inverse of K, and we have proved that if A is equals to closure of A, then A is closed. So that result we are going to use here. And to show that, let us take a point X belongs to closure of f inverse of K. We will show that this X belongs to f inverse of K. In that case, both will be the same, and f inverse of K is closed in X. That is our claim now. Alright, so since X belongs to this implies fx belongs to closure of in Y, closure of f inverse of K. So we have taken a point X in closure of f inverse of K. We will use the hypothesis. So X belongs to this implies fx will be inside f of f inverse of K, and then we know that this is contained inside closure of f inverse of K, which is contained inside K. And this we say that this is equals to K. Let me write why this is equals to K. Closure of Y or closure of K is equals to K. When this will happen? Again, same statement we are using in the proof. We say that A equals to A closure if only if A is closed also, you can say. So since K is closed, this is equals to K. So this implies this X belongs to f inverse of K, and that will imply we have taken a point x in closure of f inverse of k. We have proved that that point is in f inverse of k, and hence closure of f inverse of k is contained inside f inverse of k, and also by definition we have already proved that f inverse of k is always contained inside closure of f inverse of k. Because when we define the closure of a set, we said it's the intersection of all those closed subsets which contains A. So of course this will be inside the closure. Hence from this and this we claim that closure of f inverse of k is same as f inverse of k, and since both are same, this implies f inverse of k is closed in X. Okay, this is by theorem. A equals to closure of A, then A is closed. In fact, you can show that it's economic. If A is closed, then closure of A will be same as A itself. So this statement proves our claim. We started with a closed set K in Y. We proved that it is closed in X. If you want to see the diagram, it will be like this is K. We will have inverse image of K, that is f inverse of K, and then we have taken a point in closure of f inverse of K and proved that f inverse of K is there. Alright, so this proves our second statement. Let us go for the third statement now. What third statement says is, we have proved that the second implies 3. Now we need to prove that 3 implies 4. So our hypothesis is f inverse of k is closed in X for all the closed subsets k of y, and we have to show this. Alright, now the statement for this, we have taken this, we have proved that 1 implies 2, we have proved that 2 implies 3. Now the claim or the task of showing that 3 implies 4 and 4 implies 1 will be done in the next video, as you need to spend some time, you need to work on these statements, you have to write your own theorems and proofs. So I will stop this video right now here, and I will give this as a task to show that 3 implies 4 and then show that 4 implies 1. The next video we will cover these topics. In the next video we will show that this 3 implies 4 and 4 implies 1, and that will complete our theorem. Okay, so to wind up, we have stated this theorem and we have proved that we have stated this theorem for the equivalent statements 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we have proved 1 implies 2 and we have proved 2 implies 3. Okay, in the next video we will show that this 3 implies 4 and 4 implies 1. If you have any queries, if you have any doubt, you can contact me on this number, or you can give me, or you can send me this email on this email ID. So take your pen and write down the proof of 3 implies 4 and 4 implies 1. See you in the next video.